things that we can go ahead and actually just take away from the challenge. We're like 40, I think we're like day 47 into the challenge right now. Um, Sean Pritt and then also Shivani. Truth of the matter was like if you guys go ahead and if you guys go ahead and actually go back as far as we're putting out so many YouTube videos out here right now, I'm freaking getting confused. They were with us throughout all of the challenges, starting from like I would say day 13.
Alrighty, so
Day 13 all the way upwards to like day 13, day 14, day 15. Lawrence is also out, as you guys already know. He launched at, oh yeah, I need to put his up there too. Yum Brands. I'm gonna get ready to do his testimonial today. But they were showing up to like the morning and the afternoon set. When I was hosting like the morning and the evening session, they were just fully locked down doing both. I'd say another big thing that made a big difference is like calling all of you guys out there is they always have their cameras open, and it's like that just makes them like that much more accountable to what it is that we're trying to accomplish out here, because you're not trying to stay here for long anyways. I think like this is also a testament where something else was this. Okay, yeah. I was like, do a mock interview and actually record yourselves doing it. Like both Sean and Lawrence did it, and it's not a surprise that they got out of the job as fast as they did. Everybody had offers that kind of exceeded the money side of the expectations. They showed up to every single call, was accountable. They don't just come through whenever. Austin.
I'm here at every single one except for the
Oh,
resume reviews.
yeah, man. So like, here's the thing. If you show up to the calls, if you're like accountable to just doing what it is that we're supposed to be doing and just hitting up every single role, and this also goes back down to like the volume approach. We got somebody. I'm so proud that we got somebody into Amazon, especially in a time when Amazon's doing layoffs right now. It just like when you have that many interviews just underneath your belt, it just like it really shows that you are a superior interviewer when you're going in, that you're just outclassing all these other people that are at the interview process. This is actually why I'm such a bigger fan of. This is why I'm always a fan of just like doing more of something instead of just doing less, is because like you want to get to the point where you're just not thinking about it. Um, like I would put my money on FanDuel over somebody that's done 20 interviews but has no product management experience. That's, in the past 2 weeks, that's an Uber driver versus a product manager that just got out of Meta but hasn't done an interview in 3 years, any day of the week. It's just because like when you're coming on there, the number one thing, and the Wednesday call is dedicated to actual interviewing, right? When you're on the interview, the number one thing is that I notice why the volume approach always wins, and why the qualitative, I get so many calls, our team gets so many calls from product managers saying like, okay, yeah, I tried the quantitative approach, like not really at this level. You know, like, because when I used to be a recruiter, the first thing I notice when somebody's interview is going dramatically wrong is when they're 3 minutes into the interview and they know if they F this up, they have really no backup. Like, this is it. So the desperation just starts seeping in. The desperation starts seeping in, and you're just like, oh shit. I gotta get this. Like when you're doing that much volume, you're just at a point where like this is just why like I joke around about it, but this is why the Korean business mindset just works. That way that they just whip out a K-pop idol factory is like, just do it, 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 do it. And it just gets to the point where, obviously we don't want somebody to commit suicide here. That's just the last thing we don't need that kind of press coverage. But, the thing is like when you have the kind of volume that you do, it's like the results of it is just absolutely amazing. And anytime that you're spending talking to somebody, the more time you're getting a chance to go out there and talk to actual people that are hiring for product manager roles, you guys are big companies, small companies, medium-sized companies, just like what all three of these success stories have done. You're getting a good chance to just feeling how it is it's feeling on the other side. The hiring side's frustrated too. They don't enjoy this experience. They don't enjoy seeing all these calls being booked on their calendar. And like it's a waste of their freaking time. And you're getting like the more that you're getting a vibe from that, it also just helps you interview with that much more, I think, empathy, which um also makes for like really, really good interviewing. And then overall, I would say the third thing is like you the more interviews that you're doing, you start realizing like there's there's like paradigm shifts that you're going to make where it's like, oh, why can't I play the game this way? Why can't I play the game this way? Ed and I here before I left for Korea, we grabbed drinks in LA and we went to a hotel and we came out of the hotel bar and friggin' remember that parking validation thing, buddy? And we didn't get it validated. And Ed was like, "Oh, it's all right, Rich. I got this." Like, no, 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 no. I was like, "Yeah, we got the parking validated, but it's not letting us out of the gate." And the guy
Yeah,
was
yeah,
like,
yeah. Yeah.
it's like, "All right, we're gonna open it up." I was like, "Some guy right now that's making $7.25 really gonna freaking come out?" Ed was like, "Yo, man, I gotta hang out with you more." Which is that's exactly like, here's the thing, right? Like, why, like approaching the game unconventionally? If you don't know the answer to the question, like, I don't know the answer to that question, but I'm going to get back to you tomorrow. Why can't you say that? Why can't you request for additional interviews? The way our case study is, there's not enough questions on this. If you guys ask Shivani, like, there's not enough like questions. There's not enough information on this case study for me to present an impactful case study. Can you guys give me more information? Otherwise, it's going to be a waste of everybody's time. Why can't you guys do that? Because it is. I've had people that have had Uber case studies. It was 2 sentences. I had that thing on Instagram, and I was like, "You really gonna catch a flight from New York to San Francisco, which is the city I hate the most in America?" There's only two. Am I missing something from this PDF? There's only 2 sentences here. What are you going to present? It's not going to help you get a job. It's going to be a freaking waste of their time. They're probably going to be wondering if you're a good product manager, like, well, why didn't you ask us? Like, clearly, they're like, oh yeah, we I sent over the wrong PDF. I'm sorry. And they're like, I can ask that. And I'm like, ask, question things, people. You can always go out there and get more information. I feel like we're also like the more interviews that you have, you feel less about like I feel like we're in this generation right now where everybody's just feeling so like so much that they have to be perfect that they're scared that they have to get that they might be wrong. I mean, on Wall Street, where most of my friends work, they tell these kids like orientation day, we only got to be right 51% of the time. There's a plane going down every single week right now. It's like common news to people. People aren't even like, it didn't stop me from coming to Asia. I mean, I definitely got blasted on the plane right all the way here to Korea, but like, I want to die sober, right? But like, in terms of like, oh, like, am I qualified? I mean, look at who's leading government right now, yo. Like the Secretary of Defense is the biggest bro ever. So like question things, get more information. Like it's okay, like, ask questions, be common sense. I was at a gym class last night here out here in Seoul at F45 Seoul. It was amazing. They're like, well, like intermittent fasting, does it work? I mean, you don't have to do it, but what if I'm really hungry that day? Well, then eat. But I thought I was supposed to be intermittent fasting. Then don't eat. If you're hungry, eat. If you're not hungry, don't eat. That trainer is about to strangle this girl. you know? So like go out there and like, yeah, you're not gonna feel like doing this shit every single day either. I mean, like I don't fucking want to come here every single day either, but I'm freaking here. So like ask your questions away. And also I would say the last takeaway that I can give you guys, because I know people love blowing people up like, what would you do? Come to these, the most basic thing is come to these calls with like questions, like treat this thing like a business. This was a big paradigm shift for me too, even running a business. Like I would show up to marketing meetings and it's just like, okay, how are we doing on YouTube this week? How are we doing on Instagram this week? And then when I started thinking to myself, like, what do I want to cover? Because like I'm not trying to work that much anymore. I'm like coming into like instead of like, hey, I'm here, it's my next meeting. Like, come to these meetings like you guys should be coming to this call like this is the last time I'm coming to this coaching call because you don't want to be here. You guys rather be on the job right now, right? It's way cooler like flexing that got an offer at a hot company than like, listening to this Asian guy freaking just go out there and chew you guys out. Uh, so anyways, questions. Let's go ahead and load it up. Ba, 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 ba. Michael A. I have multiple hiring panels internally, so I agree everything that you just said. Thank you for the agree. Hang on. Michael A. Acharya? Or
What's up? What'd you
oh,
say?
which Michael? What's your last name, man? Because we have another Michael.
Iola. Iola.
Oh, Ayol. Oh, I was like, Chari, I haven't seen that guy in years. Okay, good. So like hiring panels. Um, okay. So I have right now, how do you interview for a job you are overqualified for? Ed, quick question. When doing LinkedIn reach outs to recruiters and hiring managers for job openings, is it better to apply first and then ask them to look for my resume in the system? Um, or I'm assuming like the other way is to go out there and just reach out to them. Are these the only questions that you guys have before I go back to living my best life in the motherland? Oh man.
In the chat.
Well, what's that?
I have one more. I'll add to the chat.
Okay. Okay. Add that to the chat. Freaking A, man. Gotta tell you guys, I'm so freaking grateful to be living in this country. Oh man. It's been following me. Waiting for you, buddy. I'm waiting for you. All right, let's get it. How do you interview for a job that you are overqualified for? Okay, can you give me a little bit more context of the job, Mr. Dave Varsh? Is this like a more junior role or like
Yeah, it's like a more junior role, definitely on lower pay. I'm sure they're thinking like this guy's overqualified for it. Why is he gonna just leave us in a couple of months when he gets a better job? So like how do you know, I guess reduce those fears that they have so I can
uh
get the job?
got it, got it, got it, got it. Okay. So in terms of like interviewing for like a role that you are overqualified for, I guess if you're overqualified for the role, like is this a job that you're doing for a practice interview or like is this a job that you're doing for like a practice interview or is this a job that you are what do I like to say? Is this a job that you actually like you want to work at this company, but right now there's only this junior opening here?
I mean, I just need a job and I need a paycheck.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Okay. If you're interviewing, are you getting these interviews and they're asking you this, or are you just assuming they're going to ask you this?
No, I mean, I've been through a couple of product owner roles that I was pretty sure like, oh, I'll get it, and then it's just, I don't know, never got it, and it just seems like I could have done, because my last role was senior product manager. I'm sure they're like, well, I guess I just want to make sure they have confidence that he wants the job and he's gonna be there and not just quit in a couple of months.
Got it. I would really just go and make it about the company, well, I'm making it about two things. Number one is if they're interviewing you right now, chances are they already see that you're overqualified and they still wanted to interview you anyways. So that just tells me that there's something about your background that is really standing out to them. Does that make sense? So like you want to know,
Mm-hmm.
clearly you see that I'm overqualified right now, but yet here we are having this conversation, and wouldn't you rather have somebody that's overqualified for the role than underqualified? Because at the end of
All
the
right, you broke up on us.
oh, can you hear me now? Nodding, everybody nodding? Okay, cool. Um, clearly you see that I'm overqualified for the role, and you still decided to go ahead and interview me. So wouldn't you rather have somebody that's overqualified versus that's underqualified? The other thing that you want to do is actually get into the heart of like what problems are they trying to solve and what problems are they trying to solve after that. And this is just where you got to leverage your advantages, right? Everybody has advantages and disadvantages on this call, and it's always about upplaying your skills and your strengths and downplaying your weaknesses because you really can't cover them. So when you're underqualified for the role, yeah, you might stay here longer, but the problem is also you also might take longer to get things done. When you're overqualified for the role, well, I'm going to go ahead and get things done a lot faster. So why don't we go ahead and talk about how we can knock out this challenge and then how we can knock out the challenge above that. Above and beyond everything else, I would really implore you to go on their Instagram or social media page and really look at a few things that would get you yourself very excited for the role. Regardless of like, and I train my team to do this too, because when you do as many admissions calls that we do, when we do as many admissions calls as we do, like there's just sometimes people are like, oh yeah, this person's not going to roll with a product gym or elevate program. Oh, this person like, you got to look for things that like, you guys got some pretty decent leads out here. Like when Ed here booked the call, they're just like, oh, product manager at Zillow, he already has experience already. That guy's not going to enroll. And I was like, I turn him. So you gotta like look for positives because like the more excited you are to go ahead and interview them, that's also another reason like why I give such long-winded answers. One of the top reasons why people don't get a job is because they don't even look excited to be there. Like I've seen so many interviews and it's just like that person looked like they were brought in for like as a homicide witness, like I couldn't even defend that person even though I was recruiting for the role. It's like go do some jumping jacks, listen to some EDM, do whatever it is that you have to do. Okay. Figure out what Michael's favorite flavor for vape is this month. Get yourself pumped up for the role. If you're interviewing for a real estate CRM company, you got to go ahead and sell it to them. Oh, man. There's nothing I love in this world more than real estate and CRMs. And the fact that I can do real estate CRMs, wow, that'd be a mega dream come true for me. Double, right? Be excited for the role. And never, ever, 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 never, ever, ever, ever. Biggest mistake is to never look at the budget that they have at face value. People always whip out more cash when they really want something. They always do. I always remember that. Like some dude was telling me like, he didn't have money to enroll at Product Gym. It was in New York and it was hilarious. We saw him at the Taylor Swift concert, me and my friends in London. I was like, what are you doing here? This 7Gs too. I needed a mental health. Dude, if you had a job, you wouldn't need a mental health day, bro. I ended up getting him. You pay him right now. Same thing. So always focus on that. Don't focus on yourself, focus on the role. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about Ed, quick question, like how's the job market right now in 2025? I'm starting to recruit and trying to see how the landscape has evolved. Honestly speaking, now that Trump is back in office, love him or hate him, the job market right now is just ripping. You
So
know, yeah.
I'm trying to take advantage of like the first quarter. Um, yeah, I agree, and so I just want to like capitalize on like the uptick. I do see some, but obviously it's been a year since I've kind of gotten this, and so gotten back in this, and so I wanted to see, yeah, pretty much like what I guess teams and hiring managers are looking for, and in their interviews, I know a lot of like the bases like we covered, but wanted to see how much has changed in the last year and like how much we need to tweak, or is it kind of the same, just put in the reps, spin mocks, and all that stuff.
It's honestly the same game, just with more roles, and I like the salary rates that I'm seeing right now is better than ever, and it's largely because, you know, uh between like finance and tech, they just have much more faith that this is a much more pro business administration. You know, when it's between your wallet and your heart, people choose their wallet real fast. You
And
know, yeah.
I guess with the resume stuff, so application, so I know like that has become a lot more competitive, and I feel like in that aspect, there's a lot of changes how you get the interview, right? So obviously with reach outs and stuff, but that's where I was wondering, like I've heard on both ends where you can sorry, apply for the job first and then reach out to the recruiter and then say, hey, like can you bump like to get can you like bump on my resume or take a look at it, or if you want to chat. Or you just like send them a cold like reach out and then say, hey, like this is my resume. If you're free to chat, it's interested in the role. Which
100%.
yeah,
Yeah.
which I guess like yeah, which avenue is like the good way or like yeah, the best way.
I really recommend for people to just go ahead and like, I just pulled it up on my other screen right now. I mean, we have all this on the Airtable. Plexi's doing a great job of it right now, but like the people that are posting up the roles, they are probably, I would say, they're probably like going to be the most urgent, and I would really encourage, if like you really need a job, like the best roles to go out there and hit are the people that are posting up for roles who are like senior,
Yeah.
like CEOs and stuff. There's this
Uh-huh.
one, I think it was called like TikTok Games.
Like
uh
we,
yeah, go
I
ahead.
have been doing that and it's been working. So like they'll reply, but they'll be like, hey, just like go ahead and apply within our system and we'll get back to you. So it's like, so it's like full circle. So now I'm realizing, should I just apply in the system and then reach out? I feel like it saves them time because they could just pull up your resume and then reach out to you directly from their system rather than like, hey, like if you like take a call, then put you in, see what the team says. So that's what I'm trying to figure out, like what the best way is.
Best way is to always go ahead and apply first and then
Yeah.
just reach out to them afterwards, because that's actually part of our message template is like, I'm reaching out to you because I've already applied,
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
right? But if you see like a role, like let's just say like, you're out and you're waiting for your coffee and you see a role that was just posted up on LinkedIn like 15 minutes ago, you probably want to just go ahead, and you think you're a really good fit for it, you should just like make sure that your resume is like ready to go and just like hit them right then and there, and then like
Oh,
go
I
back
see.
and then you apply, right? I would say like speed to lead is really good, and then also following up is also really good. Like this guy right here, he's the CEO of a company called TikTok Games. They've been around for 14 years and they're looking for a product manager. Um,
And then
yeah, hit him
yeah,
up.
and is LinkedIn like the best tool right now? It's always been my number one tool, but is there any other creative ways like or yeah,
Man, we made a
really not.
whole application playlist on this,
Oh,
Ed.
okay, okay. Yeah.
But yeah, LinkedIn is the best.
Yeah, yeah.
LinkedIn is the best, you know. All right. So let me get to, ask me as a follow-up to that about the reach outs. I sent out multiple connection requests, and when they accept in my first message, should I directly share about the roles that I'm interested in or request a call? Both. You should request a call. Calls are always better, in my opinion. I'm old school in that sense because, like, there's just so much more that you can accomplish in a phone call versus like you can accomplish like over messaging. It's largely worked because you actually get a chance to go ahead and interact with people. Um, let me see here.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that I have been randomly reaching out to people, and some of them are also accepting. They people are mostly like recruiters or hiring managers, and sending them cold messages as well. I mean, more relevant, like you said, like find something on their LinkedIn profile and relate, then send it to them. But haven't been hearing back much. So that's why I was kind of thinking if it's better to just send like the roles that I'm interested in with the resume, or keep following up.
So if it's just like cold reach outs, are you talking about like if it's just cold reach outs, are you talking about like are you talking about like roles that like they don't have like a role open, you're just reaching out to the like you don't know if they have a role directly open underneath them, you're just reaching out like to just random recruiters at
The
companies?
recruiters in a particular companies I'm interested in. Yeah, and then trying to make a connection and conversation, and then share the roles with them in that company.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
If I were you, I would go ahead and you wanted to take that approach. What I would do is actually reach out to like a head or director of product because like the recruiter has like the recruiter just doesn't care enough because every department is basically saying my hire is the most important hire, or
okay,
they're very focused on the role that they have that's in front of their face right now. So
okay,
like a director or head of product that's actually on the job that you're going to be working with, they
yeah,
have much more vest in like, oh, why can't I be like one of my friends that like do nothing?
okay, fair,
Yeah.
understood.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Thanks.
So next question that we have here is, what is the best way to begin connecting with a connection on LinkedIn? That's a fantastic question from Jessica here. One of the best ways for you to start connecting with people on LinkedIn is send them out the LinkedIn request. And then after you send them out the LinkedIn request, um, it's not the best way to reach out. It's actually the best way to constantly go ahead and follow up. I would recommend that people follow up at least 5 to 8 times before they go ahead and call it quits on a roll. So we actually did a whole thing on that, but that's usually something that we cover like on Monday nights. Is like the more effective ways to go out there and apply. Is like, okay, what you really want to do is like message. I'm interested, like, let's talk about what you shouldn't do. Like, what you shouldn't be doing is like, I'm interested, tell me more, can we connect? They don't want to get on a phone call with you. They like don't want to tell you more about the role. They're not looking to go out there and connect. Like, they know you're already interested. And it's like, people are still getting laid off out there. So the chance of you being interested is viciously high, right? So you want to go ahead and actually make a connection with them first, take a look at the page, and then the other thing here is on since we are wealth of resources, we have one which is how to find. Okay. I'm gonna pop this one in here just for you, Jessica. You see here where it says like how to find the contact information of the hiring managers. Okay, so I also showed people like messages that they were able to draft up, and they did go ahead and convert. That was also the other thing, right? It's like when we're talking about like, hey, like, bring me jobs that you guys want me to draft a message. Lawrence brought up that job. Pritt brought up a job where it's just like, this is the job. I think it was like One Main Financial. Pritt got the interview over there. Lawrence, he ended up interviewing with that guy from Foot Locker or whatever. If there are roles, like bring them into the calls. I'll show it to you guys. And if there's like roles that this is like pretty simple when you're typing in like product manager, and when you're going into product manager, again, you want to hit post. And then after you hit post, you'll see all these people that are posting for roles. Something else that you can also go ahead and sort by is you go to sort by latest instead of top match. I do both because sometimes top match gives me like a better, because like the most recent one is just everybody. Top match, like it knows like, you know, most people are looking for a job, so it kind of those postings get bumped up because then you'll have people that's like, oh, I just got a job here, or like, oh, I'm looking for work, you know, oh, I'm looking for work. Well, all these people, these are good leads for us. You know, and then you'll have basically this, right? I can't stress this also enough because people have been getting additional interviews this way too. Is when you click on the direct the role of the position, more often than not, you'll see the role here. Okay, Reston, Virginia. I don't know how far that is away from you, Mr. Austin, but you know, you probably want to go out there and get in on it. But if you go ahead and you go to search for jobs, a lot of times they actually have like similar jobs that are just right next to it. You type in product, and they'll just have like, okay, product manager, product manager, product manager, portfolio product manager. Granted, some of these are in like out of area locations, but like product manager Reston. If you go ahead and hey Makati, if you go ahead and you do like, okay, so let's go out there and update the location to United States of America. Okay, so you have senior product. You have right now 61 jobs for product manager roles just within the United States, right? So it costs money to go ahead and actually post up jobs on LinkedIn. They charge per click. So like when you're actually applying to roles that are on the job board that's not on LinkedIn, you know, what ends up happening is like these are the less saturated roles. Like you don't want to go ahead and like be in like a high competition area. Uh Analogy that I like to use is don't be another all you can eat Korean barbecue buffet in Koreatown because they never last. It's like a 5 month thing and then they go out. You know, it's a war of attrition and it's a race all the way to the bottom, right? So you want to go ahead and let's just say, hey, Rich, this is really cool. Senior product manager over there at True Contact. You want to scrape up all these different roles first to get the maximum impact. You want to get a list. And remember, like every single day, you want to be excited about the companies that you're applying to. Because like if you go out there and you go to TransUnion right now and you apply to one job and then you get back and you hit another one, it's going to take you forever. You want to get everything on your spreadsheet, 30, 50, 100 roles, and prioritize the ones that you really want to hit the most, like on the very top. If you scrape up 200 roles first, just scrape them. Just scrape, get them on the thing. Also, we have the Airtable. Plexi, if you can go out there and post up again, the shareable link for the Airtable. Um, you got to be like, you got to actually look at this like, you know, your psychology and how you're approaching the job hunt is also very important. Like, okay, there's another 20 companies today or 20 jobs that I'm super pumped up about. And there's another 20 jobs like yesterday. And then there was like 20 jobs before. Then you feel much more pumped up about the job hunt versus like, shit, this is taking me forever, right? Like, no. And then you also get faster. So scrape up the list first. Go ahead, quite easy. Let's just say we want to go ahead and get a job here at TransUnion. I'm gonna go ahead and take, well, this person here is definitely a possible hiring manager at TransUnion, right? New star, 16 years, director of product management. That's a great role. But other things that you can do, let's type in TransUnion right here. Hit that. And then the next thing is it's got 10,000 employees. So I'm going to hit this. And you should do all of this within like, I'd say you should have your list ready to go and then start sourcing people and then start messaging people. Treat it like an assembly line where you have, I'm going to type in product. And then I am also, because it's a global company, I'm just going to make sure everybody's in the United States. And then once you actually hit this, I'm going to take a look at it. Okay, I see all these different people that could be working. There's like 32 pages. I'm gonna go back in there. Whenever they have the role for the roles that you guys are really pumped up about, like when we did this video, it was like Instagram search or like Foot Locker e-commerce or like One Main Financial digital, right? And it has that little comma. Those are great indicators. So I'm gonna type in True Contact to see if anybody even uploaded their name to True Contact. And then you have product and True Contact, right? And you're gonna hit this and you're gonna go to show results. Oh, nothing found. So if I can't go through that way, the other thing I'm just gonna look for is I'm just gonna scroll a little bit. And I'm gonna take a look for anybody that's got like a VP or director title. I'm just gonna, okay, VP of product marketing solutions. That's a great person to hit. SVP of global platforms. And when you reach out to them or product owner here at Alpharetta, well, that role is also in Alpharetta. So that's like a good indicator, right? Or like director of product management, Joyce Mack. Other things that I'll look for is other than location, TransUnion welcoming, come be a part of the network product management team. Okay, that's another clue, right? So I'll type in I'll take a look for like network and I'll just start reaching out to like a few people and ask for referrals. It says like TransUnion B2B say expert insurance tech, da 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 da. I'll take a look at all the directors, all the SVPs, and I'll just start sending them messages and I'll start kind of working my way around. Get your list and like freaking knock on your list. It's actually like from a sales and marketing standpoint, it's not always about like you always getting new things in. Like you want to have this mindset, I'm gonna get every bit of meat off of this bone and like I'm not gonna let any part of this animal go to waste. A lot of people, their next job or their next offer is really on the Airtable or the spreadsheet that they already have access to. So when I take a look at like even like increasing revenue, right? I'm not like from a business owner perspective, I'm not always trying to figure out, oh, who do we like who are new people that we're trying to talk to? I take a look at like who's the people that we already have, you know? Michael's here's first message to me was June 30th, 2023. He didn't enroll until January. So, you always want to go ahead and yeah, homie. But that's the thing though, right? You gotta think about this business like you're in the long run. So you gotta like all the people that you guys apply to, chances are a lot of the companies that you guys have already applied to, hit them again. Remember what I said in the beginning of this call? I love that analogy. I was so proud of saving $3 on validation, Ed. You have no idea. But like a lot of the companies that you guys even got rejected from, a lot of times they just mass reject people. So Dennis, right, has already proven that you don't have to, just because you got a rejection, it doesn't really mean it's a real rejection. You hit them again. Contact the hiring manager. It only takes 7 no's for you guys to go out there and get a yes. So you guys see those crazy mother lovers at the very top, the Donald Trumps and the Elon Musks. You want to know what they have in common? They just never take no for an answer. They also pay people, these like insane performance coaches, literally like $10,000 a week to say, you can do anything, you can do anything, you're unstoppable, you can do anything. And they just keep breaking the limit. So when like I want to challenge all of your paradigms, like, okay, is that a rejection? Why is it a rejection? Okay, like, well, Rich, who should I go ahead and ping? Everybody. If you have this mindset, I'm gonna be working there anyways. I'm just introducing myself as your next coworker. Plus, when you get the interview, they're gonna see that you're connected with all these people over here at TransUnion. It's like, oh, how do you know her? Right? So that's kind of the thing. But keep it up and always keep up your number. I would say like I've made enough videos out here where I sourced out like about 30 roles like a day. You guys can all message. If you guys are messaging like 30 to 50 people like a day, I don't think anybody had it worse than our Amazon testimonial where she had 5 offers pulled away from her because of the visa status situation. I seriously would have go out there and set somebody on fire already. what she was able to focus on was she was doing 200 apps like a day. So anybody that's like anybody that's just no. That lady climbed and clawed to get that Amazon offer, and if she can do it, all you people definitely don't have an excuse, right? We put out like an ad for like a video editor. Holy moly. Like I would probably say this guy here has been following up with me every single day. This guy here is probably, I don't know if I showed you guys, this guy here has been the most aggressive. He's been sending me videos. He even made a video for me for free. He even posted up on his India by far has the most aggressive, like freaking follow-up game. There. That guy's like, yo, man, I would love to go out there and blow up all 7 of your YouTube channels. Okay. I literally told him, I was like, I've been really busy. I was like, yo, dude, I'm gonna get back to you. I just got tons on my plate right now. And
Hey,
some,
Rich.
yeah, go ahead. Who's that?
Hey, it's me. So for the reach outs, right, you actually recommend to send a connection request to these hiring managers and stuff and not a message, right? Not an email or something, right? That's what you
Yeah,
recommend.
nobody reads emails, right? I always go out there and I add a note. That's what I do. I always just
Okay,
add.
okay, okay. Because I have the same problem, Ashmi. I reached out to like at least 20, 25 people and I'm not getting it, even for like, relevant roles. So,
Add a
I
zero
guess.
behind that, yo. Add a zero behind that. The volume game always trumps everything. Why do you guys think I'm like dropping like I think we're doing like on average right now, like even just for the product gym channel alone, we're doing like 2 videos like a day, you know. 2 long form videos like a day, like 12 hours ago, 9 hours ago, 1 day ago. We're just going out there and dropping. People loving it. Yeah, and I see all the other creators out there. They're just like, yeah, I just do 1 video a week. Well, keep doing your 1 video a week. I'm gonna go out there and do my 50 videos. I'm gonna go out there and do like 5 YouTube videos like a week and then like back it up with another 10, 15 shorts, you know. And we're gonna crack it. And when I always see the analytics, it always like goes like up. I'm about to post up a screenshot for that. That thing just went honk. So volume is the thing that you can control. Okay, so CJ, I got a question here. Actually, no, I got a few other questions here. It just kind of scrolled down. How much does it matter to fill out the Workday applications in details and clarity? Like, here's the thing, right? I actually told people this, and I'm happy to do it. Get all of those questions from like Workday, Greenhouse, all the ATS. Get all the questions. It's like the same freaking questions every single time, and then we'll get the template and answers over to you guys, and you guys just copy and paste. You guys know it's largely asking the same shit. I think it's probably the most outrageous ones, like what's your spirit animal? Like that has anything to do with me working here and being like a good product manager for this role, right? But Workday, try to fill it out. I could tell you right now, most people just don't read them. Um, they like all that shit. When I was a recruiter and I did talent consulting, I was like, it's freaking dumb. Like, you're not gonna read it. I think the dumbest freaking hiring practice is like submitting a video of yourself before you go ahead and even get like an interview call. And I was like, this is really stupid. And they're like, you should do it. And they're like, you should freaking do it. There's this company in LA. And they're like, no, but it'd give us a chance to go out there. We ended up getting like 70 gigs worth of freaking video footage. And you know how many videos got watched? Like 8. And I was like, yeah, what is this? Freaking OnlyFans? Are you guys gonna comb through all that video data like you're freaking working at the CIA? What are we looking for here? Are we working at ESPN? They're like, Rich, this was a bad idea. Maybe you guys should have thought about that before you guys had like 800 applicants go out there and do a 60-second video pitch of themselves. Like a lot of these practices, it's great in theory. When it comes down to practical app, okay, now you guys want to go out there and watch like 3 hours worth of video footage. like for just for today. Oh, that is a dumb freaking idea. I told you. Uh, so like if it gets too ridiculous, here's what I just recommend for people: push it all the way. Don't kill momentum. Everything in life is about momentum, right? You want to just go ahead and push it all the way down and get back to it later. Yeah.
That's what my question was, like, more from, because you might have seen those applications from the back end, from the recruiter front. Like, it usually autofills itself, but it's not very clean. So I wanted to understand, like, how much does it matter to really work on those Workday applications, clean them up? Does that really, especially when you have your resume attached to it, is it worth spending that much of time on those Workday applications?
Nah, it's actually not. No, I've never met a hiring team that's actually read them. I really have not. They like them. Don't get me wrong. They love them, but like they've like it's like sitting through a recruiting meeting is like one of the biggest waste of times that I had when I was like freaking a recruiter. And it's just like when it comes down to like, okay, like are you guys like, what are we doing? Vetting this lady here to be another mayor candidate for New York City? Like, are you guys actually going through all that data? Like, they read like they pull up like a few random files. And it's like, well, what about everybody else, right? That's just kind of the thing. So the vetting, they would like all of that, but like how it looks like on the other side, no. So don't waste your time.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
thanks. Yeah.
Yeah. How do you deal with the situation? One, getting a role that you really want to work at, but in a contract over your target firm, but the next role, like operations or internal pro you Prit, you want to go out there and elaborate for me a little bit? Getting a role. So
So this is the next step when you are having multiple offers, but the ones that you really want are taking longer time. So this is for Amex, right? So I really like the role that I got the offer, but they are right now holding on to it. They are there is some funds, and it's a contract role, contract to hire. And then I have another role which I really do not want to work, but I have gone through all the round. This is a full-time one with Amex, and I have the final round 5 tomorrow. I mean, so, and I also got another offer today, conditional for another contracting firm for City, when I have a full time with City on Friday. So I'm kind of thinking right now whether I should, how do I do with that?
got it. Oh man, that sounds like New York City dating right there too. Like, should I go with what I can get right now, or I got well, well, I think like here's the thing, right? Um, and this is the decision that you basically got to go ahead and make for yourself is you got to, I think, like at the end of the day, you have to think to yourself, if all these jobs were in front of your face, like which is the one that you really want, you know? And only you really know that. And I think usually people know which one they, if they had choices, like which one that they really want. And it's always okay to just go ahead and leave. Like, I think we've proven that, like, if you get a better offer 2 weeks after you started a job, um, like just dip. I mean, they wouldn't hesitate to go ahead and do that thing to you. So like my advice to you is, well, all things being equal, what's the job and the company that you want, and what's the situation that you want?
Yeah, so like regarding that, right? So last time I had 3 offers. I worked with Capital One for a month and left for Pfizer. And now what is happening is I'm applying to Capital One so many times. I'm not getting any calls. I just got a mini case today, but after applying 127 are there, right? So I'm gonna think, when you have 3, 4 offers and you are leaving a company in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, is that something that they keep that in the records, or is that, like that's what I'm looking at? Because I'm getting offers, that's for sure. But is that a good thing to be, or
I
wait
mean,
and what?
even if they don't keep a record, they damn well will remember, So, so they got a mental record of it. So yeah, I mean, those are some of the risks that you have to take. Unfortunately, though, like sometimes you cannot expedite the timeline. So, if it's a contract, okay, so we have contract right now at Amex. We have contract offer right now at Citibank, and
Yeah.
then it's we also have a possible full-time at Citibank. Is that what I'm hearing?
Full time with Amex. Tomorrow is the final round, and then City. I have two interviews already booked for Friday and Monday. They are just two interviews for the full time, and I have other interviews also coming towards the end. So that's where I'm looking at. Should I keep on applying or give up? As I already have an offer that I got today.
You should
So
always keep on applying 'cause you never know what's going to happen in this market. You should always never ever take your foot off the pedal. It's not really job's not over until 30 days after the job's not over until 30 days after uh uh 30 days I would say after the role is like uh until after 30 days after you start the job. So keep on applying. If your question is whether or not you should keep on applying, you should just keep on applying. And yeah. So any additional follow-up questions to that?
no, so you are saying that I would take what I get, and then it's better to have multiple offers and then evaluate. Then you can bump it up, like to negotiate, right? Right now I can't negotiate because I don't have multiple written offers. So first is to get to that stage when I have written offers so that I can negotiate, and then as I take something, I still keep on applying till I get the one that I really want to do. Is that what?
100%. 100%. 155%. I mean, you can't be on a hunger strike. You know, you got to take what you can get right now, depending if your situation calls for it. Like sometimes you're just going to need, you know, you're just gonna need a freaking New York City hot dog to, kind of hold you over until the next round. But like, and I also recommend that for everybody. Like, you always should be going for the better job, no matter what. I was always interviewing out there when I was on the job, always interviewing, so keep at it. I'm gonna go out there and address the remaining questions. Let me see here. All right, Michael, about a month and a half ago, I interviewed with a hiring manager at a company I really liked. The manager mentioned that he was hiring for leadership roles in several areas of the company, but did not have a specific position in mind. I felt that the interview was going very well. And however, after a couple follow-ups, the recruiter informed me that while it was a good conversation, the panel could not find a suitable fit for me. How should I handle the situation? It has been at least over a month since the interview. Should I follow up or let it go? You should always go ahead and follow up. But the two things that you need to qualify is this. Number one, is a position officially open? And then number two, is there a budget that's already approved for the role? This is like, I think we work on this is sales right now. We gotta if you're talking to people where they don't have a role that's officially open, that means they don't have a budget that's officially approved. This is actually why to kind of segue also into Anthony's conversation about networking. The only time that I think networking is a good idea if you have no expectations and you are not expecting a fast turnaround. Because most of the time when you're networking, there is no, why do you think dating apps murdered like pretty much like they definitely put a dent on the nightlife industry? It's because it's like it just happens so much faster. People ain't trying to like wait to meet their next freaking soulmate at the next birthday party because it's just not happening fast enough. It's the truth, like we want to know the basic qualification questions. Ready, willing, and able. Number one, are you guys ready to hire? Well, is there a role that's officially open? Well, like, no. Are you guys willing to interview? Oh, yeah, we always willing to have a chat. Well, that doesn't really do me anything. Number three is, are you guys able to hire, financially able to hire, right? That's a question that we get out of the way immediately. ASAP Rockies, are you able to hire? Is there a budget that's actually approved? This is why the roles that are filled the fastest are the roles where somebody just quit, because the budget has already been approved because they weren't expecting CJ to quit. You know, when you have a new role, the politics that you guys have to navigate around, and this is just what every other program out there, why I troll them so much, is like, you guys think this is a multiple choice freaking Scantron exam? Do you want to know companies don't want to spend money hiring? When it's a new role, they're always like, okay, teams always like, we need somebody, we need somebody, we need somebody, we need somebody. And you know what ends up happening? It's like the way that the company looks at it is like, well, maybe you guys just have a productivity issue. Maybe you guys can go out there and figure this thing out on your own. Maybe you guys can hold yourself over until the point where it's just like, all right, and then it's just like, you know, like they're hoping they don't need to hire somebody. But it gets to the point where it's just like, no, we need somebody right now. We've actually needed somebody 2.5 weeks ago. And then all of a sudden it becomes a much more urgent situation. Right. So you guys have to question the urgency. Definitely still follow up, but you cannot have any expectation that that is going to materialize into anything. But if you want to keep the relationship, by all means. When somebody calls us right now, here are the questions that we always ask. Number one, if you're interested in said program, you know, PM's like 7, tech sales 12,500, cybersecurity is 15,000. Does investing this amount of money make financial sense for you? It's a freaking yes or no question. Because everything that we do is on YouTube. And we're about to go out there and answer every single one of your questions to make sure this is the right fit for you. But does this make financial sense? And like you asking, yes, I'm asking you for the money right now. You either have it or you don't. Don't come for like a freaking Wagyu steak if you only got Shake Shack money. Like, straight up. It just shows that we're being business and we know we value our time, we value your time. It's like, yeah, okay. The next thing is, if you were to enroll, when would you enroll? June. Call us back in June. You're not ready to pull the trigger? Doesn't matter what I tell you today. You need entertainment? Go to OnlyFans. Okay. Are you ready to go? That is it. Right. Yeah, we asked this question too. People used to see me do this thing at my co-working space. So you know, are they ready? Are they willing? And are they able? If they're not ready, they're not willing, they're not able, you know, it's a problem. It's a problem. Okay. It's a problem. Okay. You need all three to make the tripod stand, people. CJ, Rich, I can't place how an interview process is unfolding compared to what I was expecting, what was communicated to me at first. We haven't talked salary yet, but also want to get your thoughts on anything to look out for, to consider. I can't place how an interview process is unfolding compared to what I was expecting. What do you mean by
Yeah, I
that?
can explain. So saw the role, applied to it, eventually got some outreach. Had the recruiter interview, all that seemed to make sense. What was expressed was, you know, one, pace of travel, no travel, whatever, and what the role entailed. Then I got another one. And it's like what the role is seems to be changing. And so now, like, I'm being flown out to see the CEO face to face and have like an all-day conversation. So it no longer seems like it's just a technical product manager role to me. It seems very leadership, and I'm getting words like, you know, we've been talking to our client about this new role coming and they're really excited and we're getting a lot of feedback. I'm like, what? So I'm going out there tomorrow, spend all this time with everybody. I've met the CTO and engineering manager already. This will be my first time meeting the CEO. But you know how you talked about in the beginning, like product manager has a typical salary range. Don't blow yourself out with the numbers you give out. Senior manager has something different, things like that. I can't place how it's changing, but this doesn't seem like just some tech lead product manager role working around with developers. They are a startup in analytics in a kind of niche space that I'm familiar with. So who their clients are, what they're up to, what they're doing, all that makes sense. But how it's gone from phone conversations, some partial decisions, to now actually fly down here, see us for 6 hours one day. Like what? Yeah, right. why does it feel very closer to like the first head of product attempt or something more client face? It seems very much more serious than how these conversations started out. And like I'll have my questions and things like that together, but this is not how I was expecting this to turn out. What do you recommend I either consider or ask them with how this is evolving now?
Got it. Okay. So in a market like this, you got to go ahead and expect the unexpected. It's very volatile what's going on out there. Very volatile.
Okay.
So you I think you got to take a look at it from two things. And number one is you have to ask yourself, do you want this job? And is this a
Okay.
job that you want to just go ahead and take down? Because some people on this call right now need a job. Or is
Yeah.
this someplace that you can see yourself with in the long run? And
Okay.
then sometimes even if you could see that, even if you can see yourself being in this place for the long run, it doesn't work out that way. So you always
Yeah.
need to have a plan B, right? You
Okay.
always need to go ahead and make the entire interview about the stakeholders that are going to make a decision about whether or not you're going to get
Yeah.
this offer. It's like, number one, I keep talking about the dream outcome. Where are we trying to go? What are we trying to do? Right.
Yeah.
And then the other thing here is point A, like, well, what's stopping us from getting there? What keeps you up at night? What are the blockers? And that's actually where you need to have the conversation about, like, you need to be more strategic about, okay, so like, is this going to be aligned with what it is that I want? I
Okay.
think, like, to go ahead and end it off, like, because you're not really knowing how to formulate your questions is actually why I created the whole manifestation series, because I felt like I created, something that I focused on and I'm still working on more intentionally this year of 2025 is
Okay.
you want to build your business life around the life that you want and not
Yeah, for
build
sure.
your life around the business about your career, your business.
Mhm.
So some of the questions that I'm getting today is like, well, what do you want? Now, you guys always notice that I ask that, right?
Okay.
Keep your pipeline open with backups ready to go, because
Yeah.
a lot of the very urgent hirings, I'm not going to lie, is also not good. There's a lot of places right now that are just not good places to work at. And that's also a fact.
Yeah.
So if you're going
Yeah.
to end up like another shit show, you don't want to do that. That's also another reason why you got to pour gasoline on the volume game. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
80/20 is always relevant, folks. 80% of the jobs are shit. And you know what? Even if you go to, I mean, 87% of Americans, you guys can go out there and fact check that figure for me right now. I mean, you can go and ChatGPT now. 87% of Americans hate their job, actively disengage with their job. And even if you go into like an Amazon, 80% of the manager, 80% of the managers there are just as bad as any other place. I mean, most managers are just bad at their job. I mean, I was probably really bad at my job as a manager for the first, I don't know, a few years running a business for the first time. But I also let people know that, like, this is the first time I'm a first time entrepreneur. So this might not be for you, you know? So I think be very clear about, like, what's the situation that you want. And if it's not aligned with your values, the best thing for you to go ahead and also ask, because that's a very subjective question, is this is actually what I work with my coach on a lot is, well, what don't you want anymore? You know, what don't you want anymore? And if you
Okay.
focus on that, there's a lot of things I don't want.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, do
Okay.
that. We have right now, anybody have any additional questions? Oh, CJ, can you do me a favor? Email that thing to me, please.
Yeah. I'll send it. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. You thinking about making these calls better. Okay, last but definitely not least, Mr. Mo.
Hey,
Wha-
buddy.
Hey.
So I started looking at internal postings at IBM, of product manager roles, and I already started getting some interviews going. My concern is since I just transferred over to my new team like a month ago, from my original team that was supposed to lay me off. they pretty much saved my ass, right? So I'm talking to other teams right now since they're hiring, but how would you handle the conversation with your manager if you
Of
were in
what?
the position of if your manager finds out that you are interviewing for a different department and he's the one who pretty much took you under his headcount um just a month ago?
Those conversations were initiated beforehand. And I also want you to know that this is nothing personal to you, but that was a wake-up call for me to diversify my options. At the end of the day, Mo's got to look out for Mo. I
That's
mean,
fair.
I think like honesty is just the best policy. Like, you could tell them like I gave a lot to IBM, and for me to just, get a gun pointed in my face like that just didn't really sit too well. I definitely appreciate, I'm very grateful for, you taking me underneath your wing, but you gotta, and, you know, it just made me realize something. I could work as hard as I work and then some, but still not be rewarded for my effort. And we're seeing it right now, right? Like the people that are getting laid off by Meta right there, I think like they have a massive PR situation where they're calling these people underperformers. Like, if you're gonna drop people to free up cash, like don't call your people like underperformers, because the only thing you're motivating is just people leaving. Because now people are thinking like, oh, I'm gonna be next. It has the reverse effect, you know. So like, yeah, like let them know like nobody, honestly speaking, I would just say from like a recruiter standpoint, nobody enjoys job hunting. Nobody wants to be here. Like things have to get pretty bad. Like a lot of people in a shitty company don't even want to be here. So things have to get pretty bad for you to start planning your escape out of North Korea, like I'm gonna pay money, show up to these calls, and get rejected like not, endlessly, and level up on these skills and like ride the emotional roller coaster. I think that's the thing that people just don't really like, is the emotional roller coaster of it. The like, oh, great interview and like not great interview, and like actually let your manager know that like I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to go out there. Like that's the last thing I want to do is have these conversations. But the reality is I'm gonna let you also know why, if you care to hear it. Like it was a shock to me doing everything that I did and having the skills that I have, that I understand that there's certain business level decisions that are made way above your pay grade and my pay grade that's going to have a direct impact on how I can pay rent. So I am keeping my options open right now, but just to let you know, I don't want to. And honestly speaking, like he or she's gonna respect you more for that. And the other thing is this: they're probably doing the same thing. Like about 30, close to 40%, I think it was like 38, 37, but 40% of the heads and directors of product that were paying us to hire their next product manager were actively looking for a new job themselves. That's why they went with the recruiting agency. They always like, so Rich, you do you also recruit for director level head product? Are you looking? Yeah, I am, like, passively. Oh, really? Like, because I have, okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm urgently looking right now. Because if you're passive, like, I just don't have to put you on my list. Like, what do you got? What do you want? Like, get me the fuck out of here, please. Yeah, like so, like you gotta tell your boss, like, when my boss came to me like, yo, Rich, are you planning to like leave recruiting? We heard you whipped up like a YouTube channel. You're like doing resume reviews and talks. But what's going on with that, man? It's like, yeah, I'm starting up my own product management career coaching business. So are you still gonna work here if that thing takes off? Most likely not. You know what my boss said? How's that thing going? Everybody is just, this is the last takeaway today. If you guys ever follow Justin Bieber's manager, his name is Scooter Braun on Instagram. And he says, align the greed. Everybody loves more money. You got to find a way to align the greed. Silicon Valley did not hesitate to go MAGA. They saw where the money was. They have nothing in common with Trump. You kidding me? These guys on the West Coast could not be any more left. I'm pretty damn sure their wives gave them hell for that shit. You're meeting that guy and you're gonna give him $1 million in cash money. They can't fight the money. So like, be honest with it. If you're not gonna do a good job lying, just be honest. That's always been my policy. That's why everything I do, I just post it up on YouTube, and I'm like, this is also my coaching style. And there's plenty of other people out there that are not getting people results, but if what you need is a massage, you can always just go ahead and work with that lady or that other guy. You want to get real results? Like Amazon, like Venmo, like Hulu. Like I'm overtly bragging right now, which is actually why USA Today listed us as the 3rd best online education company in the country. Well, then you come here. This is where the winners come. You a winner? That's all you got to do. All right, guys. See all y'all. Pertwish, good luck on the interviews.
Rich, I have a quick question. Maybe like it's
Yes,
not
yes.
related to
Fire.
resume.
Fire.
But do you give certificates for the course course completion?
Yeah. We do.
Okay. I mean, I'm at work, I'm getting like they are telling us to do different courses. So I
Yeah.
don't know if I can use Product Gym because I don't want to give them any ideas that I'm also probably using Product Gym for. But then I don't know. Maybe can I use that certificate if you can provide me, like, because I completed one of the courses.
Yeah. Let just send me like an email
Okay.
certification. It's probably great. Whatever certification you want, I'll have my graphics designer whip that thing up.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Rich.
All right,
I will
people.
tell.
Listen, you guys are all just one interview away from getting your next job. When people go into like, doesn't matter if it's like Amazon or Venmo or Hulu or whichever company or Disney Plus, like people don't know when they're gonna go in there, they're gonna come out with an offer, right? You just go in there, you do your best, and then like things happen. So it's like everything happens slowly, and then all at once you're getting like 1 offer, 2 offer, 3 offers. Keep coming back, sticking around the calls. We're here for you guys all week, and let's go out there and get this job. It's the most pro-business administration we've ever had in about like 20 years. All right, see you guys.
You're Rich. Good night.
Bye.